So we're 4 games into the season, and already we're seeing some development in the way the teams are going. We had our rough groups at the start of the league about who we thought would be at the top, the middle, the bottom. Who surprised us so far? That's a question we're going to be going through today. Nate, who surprised you?
Good
so
or
far?
bad surprises?
Either way.
For a good surprise, I would say Nomads. They're currently at 4th. No, It's a very surprising and also a new place again for them to be in. Again, it's very early in the league, but seeing Nomads at number 4 is quite good. On the other hand, the teams that were supposedly gearing up for this league as early as the off season, diba? As early as even the futsal tournaments, and then the national championships and the UFL Cup. I'm talking, of course, of PSG and Archers. We're seeing them at Archers are currently at 7th, 8th, tama, 7th, no? And then PSG, of course, at 10th, still with no points on the table. So that's a very surprising thing for me. Of course, we had them on the show a few weeks ago, and they were talking about the build-up for this league. And currently at least, they don't have any results to show for. So that's pretty surprising for me.
Okay. Coco, given that you guys are running the league, you get to see most of the games.
Right.
Maybe not just in terms of the teams, but have there been any players that have particularly surprised you as well?
Players, wow, that's tough. Because, well, for me, Freddy Gonzalez. For me, not really much of a surprise, but he's living up to the expectation. Because coming into the league, he was in top form in the second. Yeah, in the second division, right?
With Pachanga, yes.
Yeah, he was the top goal scorer in the second division, and now he's in the top tier in the first division.
He has more goals he has more goals than Phil Young Husband Pie.
Yes, currently, yes.
So,
yeah.
wow.
Unfortunately, he suffered a knee injury during his last match
game.
against the sorry?
PSG.
Yeah, PSG, but still, the guy's still on fire, and we're expecting more from him.
And you were saying earlier off cam that he's already scored 3 goals, a total of 3 goals for the last 3 matches.
Right,
so
right.
That's not a bad average, definitely.
Certainly not. And going back to the teams a little bit, we've got from Nate that the Nomads are doing well. Kaya on living up to the expectations now. The
expectation of no coach.
More the expectations of a top 4 place. The expectation of no coach, perhaps that's been fulfilled.
That's
in
no
that they have no
surprise.
coach.
That's no surprise.
And then the Archers and PSG. For you in particular, is the one that stands out, or do you see these as temporary placings, given there's only like 4 games gone, or are these really the standard of the teams at the moment?
What current with the way the PSG has been playing, I mean, it's not really the PSG that we saw during the Smart Nationals.
Yes.
Right? But I think it's because maybe they're a bit tired coming from that.
And remember, they
tournament.
replaced 15
Yes,
of their
they replaced
roster,
a lot.
Yeah.
So it's really the cohesion isn't still there. So maybe in a few games, maybe they will surprise us come second round. Who knows? Air Force are looking at the bottom of the table. Air Force, Army, no surprises there.
As early as last year, we were predicting that this was going to be
but
how.
I think that the effect of Chiefy leaving really even pushed down Air Force a notch lower.
Yes.
So we see Navy even in second division they're not that strong anymore.
Just
So
lost their last game 4-0
against Dolphins. So we see now that the trend that maybe the armed forces are now slowly dwindling, because I'm not sure if it's still in effect, but they can't really get players that are not enlisted. So
it can also become an economic issue in the sense that they can really acquire sponsors. Because
it's a government.
There's a chain of command that you have to follow.
That's right.
Yeah, so
which is one reason why the Nomads doing so well is a little bit more surprising, because they can't play the players so much. And last time we had Coach Mick on before, he was talking about that. Obviously, he's not in charge anymore, but he was talking about how it's difficult to get newer players in.
Yes.
And they haven't added so many players compared to the rest, so they've done really, really well. They've got 2 wins out of 4 so far and a draw, so they're doing well against decent teams to beat Pachanga in the last one. So if they can keep up that, then I personally thought they'd be in the relegation battle come the end of the season.
Yes,
but if they
yes.
can keep up that form,
That's right.
I think they'll
They
be the
can
biggest surprise.
the lowest I
this
think
season.
they can go end of the league if they continue it would be middle of the table, fifth, sixth. The biggest surprise for me is Archers.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially with the Marty signing.
Yes, and then you have
Chiefly.
new strikers there. You have Manok Giovanni Simpron there.
Yes.
And
From
then
Stallion.
you have Jesus Meliza playing again there. And then I think I'm not sure if they fortified too much on the attack. They
Yes.
forgot their defense. So it's really coming from the smart nationals that they perform so well. And then now they dwindle.
Well, in my opinion, I think it's partly because of the pitch,
Okay.
the new dimensions now of it's. Because Archers, they mostly rely on speed before.
Yes.
You give an area pass to Tati
Tating.
Pasilan,
Yes, gonna run.
it's a horse
Yeah.
race, towards the goal, and that's basically, most of the goals came from counterattacks. But now, given the pitch that it's
a bit short.
it's short, there's no space for running, then
You've also got to
Maybe
consider that in
factor.
I think the first 3 games was it Global Loyalist Stallion they were up against.
Yeah.
So they had a very very difficult start. They've won. They won in their last game. So we're really going to see where the teams are at after the first round. That's where we're really going to be able to figure out which teams are really going to surprise us, which ones are going to keep their form. And it'll be interesting to see. Once we get to that halfway point, I think 9 games into the
Yes,
league, we're 5
yes.
games off that roughly. So that's when we'll be able to see how things are really
Right.
shaping up.
Yes.
So to find out more about that, to follow us as we try and figure out who's going to be the biggest surprise of this season, you can follow us at FTW Sports.